So in this video I want to speak a little bit about the passions that call us, and on this path we can feel like we need to find our perfect passion, and when we do find that perfect passion it's in alignment with our soul, and when it's in alignment with our soul we can be on our path and do what we're here to do, carry out that mission. And what I would say to you is that from my experience of exploring 10,000 different things as I try and find out my passion, passions aren't as simple as just finding this complete picture which lands on our lap that we then embrace and walk into, this perfect job. From my experience it doesn't really work like that, and from meeting others it doesn't really work in that particular way, and it creates a huge pressure again on ourselves to find that, and also it can actually push us into this state of passivity where we don't do anything until that arrives. Now with passions, if we look outside of this spiritual bubble that we've created and we look into this normal world out there where people are following their paths in their own way, a lot of people who are in alignment with something that they're joyful about are working towards something that they're interested in and starting from wherever they're at and then creating something from that. So it's a step-by-step process. You start somewhere, anywhere, it doesn't really matter, and you create from that moment, and you find out what draws to you, you find out what's speaking to you along that path, along that journey. And it's not an easy journey, it's a journey of ups and downs, of learning things, of falling over, picking yourself back up, but you're always learning from every experience. And this is what's happened to me on my journey. A lot of the things that people may see that I do, for example with the college or other things, have come from me experimenting with 10,000 times more passions or projects around that you'll generally not get to see, because these are my way of finding out who I am, what I'm interested in, what I'm good at, what I can deliver, and honing and involving everything else with it. And the things that are seen or are seen as successful in that way are the elements that I've actually worked to develop over time, and I've actually ended up working. Yet these may even change. I may even let them go because they may not serve me in a month or 6 months. So I'm always working with what I want to do, and yet still committing to this energy of trying. And I feel that we've lost that energy of trying in this field because we're expecting too much. We're expecting everything to be delivered to us in such a way that we forget that we are also participating in our reality. We can go out there and just experiment and do things. We still have this polarized idea of success and failure, that if something doesn't work then it's wrong, and we stop and we just give up. Yeah, every failure teaches me so much more than any success that I've learned. It may sound like a cliche, yet it's so true, because when you're experimenting and it doesn't quite work, it allows you to evolve and change something. If you keep staying good at something, you can actually stagnate at that level, and it doesn't allow you as a soul to grow. It doesn't allow you to move into something else and actually obtain something else that may be calling for you. So what I'd recommend for those of you feeling like you're lost or confused and don't know where to start with your path or your purpose or your passions, I would say follow anything that's calling to you right now, especially things that you seem maybe good at, and maybe healing, and maybe something that you feel drawn to, that you've had an experience of yourself and you want to go train in something. Experiment with working with it afterwards, with your friends, with people. See how it works when you start to develop that. As you meet somebody, you have an experience, you might go into coaching, you might go into something else. And this is just on one element of how we're working. You might be drawn to art, you might be drawn to music, you might be drawn to working with business, you might be drawn to working in any way you want. It all can be in alignment with our spirit. It may be serving the planet in a particular way, and any particular element that you're drawn to, just go and experiment and start to do. That moment of doing starts to shift our reality. We take a step forward, we break out this energetic box we've created, and we show to ourselves and the universe that we are ready. We are ready to make a change. We are ready to receive. And so with passions, it's important that we balance our active and our passive sides together. So this isn't about just doing all the time as well. It's about also recognizing that everything, and this is what I keep speaking about in these videos, is about balancing that passive and that active side, that feminine and that masculine side. And just knowing that whenever we're stuck in a particular frame of mind, it's important to just find our own equilibrium swing and just swing back and just experiment with the other side, taking a pause if you're doing so much. If you keep doing, then taking a pause and starting to reflect. We're moving into a time now where, with all of this creation that's happening within us and the amount that we're changing, it's important that we also take a pause and start to look at and reflect and disengage from all of the matrices, the mainstream matrix, the spiritual matrix, all of the ideologies around us, and start to tune into yourself. Trust yourself. Trust your own ability to determine your path. Your path is always destined. You're always on the right path. You can't go off your path. It's always part of your experience, which is why it's so valid. And the more you validate your experience in this way, the more you can actually see the value of everything that you experience on your path, and therefore extrapolate the purpose and the wisdom from everything you experience. So as you move into your passions, begin with anywhere small. Begin with those baby steps. Let go of those big ideas, those big visions, because everything's changing so much during these times anyway. Just allow yourself to start somewhere and see where it leads to. We can't really know the next step. This is our level of control, which we try to control, that kind of linear model of knowing where we're going to be leading towards. And we can't expect everything to be given towards us in this moment, because there's so much learning to happen and so much evolution that happens in our consciousness as we experience something and as we deliver something. And trust yourself that you're able to give and do something right now. Everyone on the planet is able to do something right now based on the skills, the abilities, the experiences that you've had up until this moment. We are all able to give something. And begin with that place, and if you feel drawn to training, or if you feel drawn to some kind of hobby, you feel drawn to experience something, experience it with the openness that it may or may not lead to something. It may just be an added experience to your reality. At the end of the day, everything adds towards our greater work that we do, because we always naturally draw in from all of our experience that we have. So in summary, go out and express yourself, explore yourself, free yourself, liberate yourself, and be yourself.
Who can say